Welcome to SEC Football Live here from 440 Sports, brought to you by ML Rose. 6 great locations all across the mid-state area here in Tennessee. We're going to talk Alabama and Auburn today on the show. Special thanks to Joe Goodman for joining us here from AL.com and author as well. Joe, good to see you, my guy. How are you?
Yeah, man, doing great. Just having a good summer here.
Make sure you remember, I know there's no baseball season or softball season anymore, but 2-for-1 drink specials on Saturdays and Sundays. Of course, they got that menu. You got the SEC. It's branding, Joe. They got the SEC sandwich on an SEC show at a restaurant in the Southeastern Conference footprint, selling burgers and beer, all kinds of great stuff at ML Rose. So make sure you check out the SEC on brunch menu only on Saturdays and Sundays. All kinds of fun stuff. They got trivia night. I know you'd probably crush at trivia, so as all sports writers do. We got a great trivia night, of course. They got happy hours, all kinds of cool stuff. So make sure you check out ML Rose. All right, this is kind of the same question for both teams, and it's just something we've been thinking about at Athlon, putting the magazine together and ranking all these teams. It feels like broadly that this will be the best roster that Hugh Freeze has had in his time on the Plains. And I think maybe more controversially, I think actually Alabama's roster, in particular the offense, could actually be better this year in terms of talent. Is that a fair assessment of where both of those teams are right now?
Hugh Freeze has to have the best roster that he's had, or he's in really big trouble. Okay, it's all been building up to this moment. He's been sandbagging. He's been putting it off. He's been building it up to this moment. And now he's talking about, well, it'll be a good season if we make a bowl. I mean, listen, Hugh needs to be in the conversation for the college football playoff. I think he's got the roster to do it. This is his third year. They got Jackson Arnold. I mean, he's not a terrible quarterback. He's certainly better than the last guy, Thorne. They got Alabama at home. They got Georgia at home. I mean, that's doable. So, yeah, the roster shapes up, and he's kind of been shaping up the roster for this season. This is a make or break year for Hugh Freeze.
So you're is the fan expectation 10-2 and make the playoff, or is that more?
Absolutely,
Okay,
right. Absolutely. Hugh Freeze is trying to dumb down expectations. Fans will not have it at Auburn. There's no way. Well, that's not going to happen there.
Tracks.
Yeah, I mean, look, they never should have fired Gus Malzahn if we're gonna go that far back. I mean, come on.
4 minutes in, I like it.
Who's better? Who's a better coach, Gus Malzahn or Hugh Freeze? Can you tell me definitively? No.
Yes, I can, and it's the bus. No, I'm curious because I'm fascinated by like human evolution from like a psychology standpoint, leadership, right? Not like human evolution from like Darwinian times. I'm talking like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has changed dramatically as a human being over the last 5 years. Has Hugh Freeze changed at all from the time he got the job to now? And I'm not talking about scheme. I'm not talking about calling plays. I just mean, has he changed at all?
Well, he got cancer. I mean, not to make light of that, but that's a serious, that changes your perspective on things, I think. He got a cancer diagnosis. So, I've kind of wondered how that's going to affect his outlook on life and his perspective on things. I can't say for sure if like Hugh Freeze has changed or reformed himself or whatever. I mean, I don't really care about that. It's the SEC, like you say Lane Kiffin's a different guy. I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, we all, you know what I mean? Like we all are who we are, but like we try to sand down the edges as time goes on. And I'm just like Nick Saban changed dramatically when he became a grandfather in and through a tragedy when the tornado hit. Like he kind of tweaked himself a little bit. And I'm just, Hugh Freeze has been through a lot, and I'm just curious if people on the ground are seeing anything different from him.
I don't think so. He's got a lot of pressure on him right now, and he knows it. And so the bottom line is that he better not lose that edge. I mean, Auburn is in a place right now in this new world of college athletics where, it could go either way. They need to have a really good season this year if they're going to remain competitive in college football.
I agree that he's sandbagging. As many Brian Kelly's been doing the same thing. All these coaches do it. If they are close to not missing a bowl game, but they're 7-5, like what is the appropriate response based on personnel, not based on fan expectation, but based on like actual logical expectation?
Yeah. So, Hugh Freeze showed up and his plan was he wanted to build this team the old-fashioned way through high school recruits amid this changing era of the transfer portal. And listen, that's just not how it works anymore. And so he realized that this past year when 24 or 23 guys left his team and he had to go really hit the portal harder than he ever has. I mean, he's always used the portal, but they really had to use it this year to kind of just fill the roster. So he does have this base group of guys, though, that he's brought along since the first year. And there's some really talented people on this team. No one's talking about Auburn. I think Hugh Freeze kind of wants it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn has always been better when they can just kind of sneak up on people. And so, I've been saying since early in the offseason that Auburn can have a better season than Alabama. We have no idea about the quarterback situation at Alabama. Like, people can say Ty Simpson looks good in practice. I don't care one rip about that. Like, no, what does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything.
I've heard Jackson Arnold looks good in practice.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jackson Arnold beat Alabama.
Fair. Tough, but fair.
So, I mean, then again, Vanderbilt beat Alabama and Auburn last year. So that's what we're working with right now.
Well, Diego
we need
Pavia.
To be talking about Vanderbilt. Can they win the SEC?
Diego Pavia has beaten Auburn twice with two different teams.
Yeah, he's beaten Hugh Freeze 3 times.
Yeah, I know. He beat him at Liberty when he was in New Mexico State, right? Like,
yeah,
that's right. God, old Diego Pavia.
I mean, if Diego Pavia, just think about this: if Vanderbilt goes in with Pavia and beats Auburn, Hugh Freeze might lose his job. Yeah, that might be the thing to do it. Well, Kalen DeBoer too. You can't lose to Vandy 2 years in a row.
No, I agree. I'm looking at.
That game is at Vandy. Auburn at Vandy, by the way, because Vandy came into Jordan-Hare and won last year.
Throw out the records. So you got me thinking about the preseason rankings about Auburn, and the one that always comes to mind is 03 and 04. I think I'm checking it right now. They were preseason number 6 in 2003. And they end up losing 5 games that year. And then the very next year, I want to say as I'm doing this all in real time, they were not ranked, I don't believe, but let me double check that. And I don't know.
They were either 25 or outside the 25 or something like that.
They were preseason 17. So, okay, the story's not as good as I thought, but still,
I mean, that's still pretty high. You start out 17.
17 and you end up obviously undefeated. So that's, to me, that those 2 years are always, and I think that was the year USC came in 03 into Auburn and just like stomped them on the Plains, and that USC goes on to win the national championship, of course. But there was a huge like week 1 game. Anyway, every time you say the expectations and sort of the results tend to flip on the Plains, I feel like that's the years that I kind of point to that and I go, that's the most definitive example of what took place in that era. So, all right, that's just.
They can always win the Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare.
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't matter who's the coach, who's the quarterback. There's always that element of what the hell is going on when it comes to the Iron Bowl in Auburn.
So you mentioned Ty Simpson, and I think it's totally fair. Giant question mark, unsure. All big-time recruits. Some of them pan out to be exactly what we think they are. Some of them aren't. You just never know until the lights come on. I am curious, though, around like the coaching staff and the system should be better because DeBoer and Grubb are always better together than apart. At least from what we understand about Simpson is that his skill set allows them to probably call more of the playbook. The offensive line could be better, the receiving core could be better, and the running game could be better. it's hard for me not to look at the Alabama offense, and we know the defense is salty. To look at the offense and say, well, they could be better this year. Like I know that sounds like an insult to Jalen Milroe. It's not meant to be. He's very talented. It's just a different kind of talent.
He sucked at the end of the year. He wasn't good. There was all that talk about Alabama should have made the playoffs. No, they shouldn't have. They should not have been in the playoffs last year. They were in a downward trajectory, ever since losing to Vandy. They got blown out by Oklahoma. Milroe was average at best. It just is.
So they're going to be better.
So yeah, they should be better. I mean, Ryan Williams, that kid is just phenomenal. He's great. They got pieces around him. Yeah, hopefully the quarterback is a better fit for the coaching staff. And a lot of that isn't on Milroe. It's just the coaching staff maybe couldn't adapt to his skill set the way previous staffs did.
Kalen DeBoer is a fascinating creature relative to his predecessor from a personality standpoint. And I think when I was hearing sort of how he approached the job when he first got there, very much about listening, very much about know what you don't know. Like it seemed like very kind of, I don't want passive isn't the right word, but sort of like, I'm going to let it come to me, maybe is the right way to explain it. At least that's from the outside looking in is how sort of it felt talking to folks around there. Does the job require more than that? Does the job at Alabama require a certain personality type that drives and runs a certain way? And is Kalen DeBoer is he that type of guy?
I mean, it's been proven twice emphatically that you have to be the king in Alabama. I mean, Bryant was the king, Saban was the king. That's the blueprint right there. DeBoer was shell-shocked last year in the SEC. I mean, let's face it. He wasn't prepared. He lost his offensive coordinator. He had a terrible plan after that. And it showed up on game day. I mean, I still am shocked that they got smoked by Vanderbilt. It's not just that they lost to Vandy. It's that they just went up there and got it handed to them. And
the time of possession was eye-opening.
It was like Alabama had the ball for 17 minutes or something. I mean,
still. So I don't disagree with anything you just described. You used the phrase shell-shocked, unprepared, and you go up there and Vanderbilt dominates. Even still, almost make the playoff, almost win 10 games, had a chance to beat Vanderbilt. So even through all of the shock, through all the shock and awe, and all of the unpreparedness, still a darn good football team relative to everyone else in college football.
Still Alabama.
I know that's not how Alabama fans view it, but couldn't you look at that and say, all right, that's the learning year. That's the year where you figure it all out. And for them to have all those problems, quote unquote, and still be as close to good as they were, I mean, couldn't you spin that as a positive?
Yeah, sure.
Meaning looking forward, like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 years in, your sophomore year, he should make some pretty strong strides here. Let's look back at what Urban Meyer did his second year at Florida. He won the national championship with Chris Lee. I'm not saying they're going to win the national championship, but they should absolutely be in the hunt to make the college football playoff. It's going to come down to the Iron Bowl. It's going to come down, to some of these tough games on their schedule. I'm not looking at their schedule right now, but
I want to know why you just started laughing.
Because I cannot get Vanderbilt out of my head.
Look, it was the greatest Vanderbilt season in the history of Vanderbilt football, just for the record. Like, Diego Pavia is the most interesting player they've ever had in my lifetime. I'm 42 years old.
You know who Pavia reminds me of? Like a WWE wrestler from the 1980s. Like that's what he is.
No rules.
I mean, he's coming in with a chair. I mean,
yeah.
I can't believe that Ryan Williams decided to call out Vanderbilt. Like, so Alabama's all-world receiver went on a podcast with Gruden and said that they're going to crush Vanderbilt like ants with a sledgehammer. Like, buddy, Pavia, no one crushes Pavia. I don't care.
You know what? He's like a cockroach because he's so low to the ground that even if you step on him, you can't kill him. Can't
I
kill him.
love that kid, man.
He's the most fun I've seen it in my city in a long time.
Yeah, he's incredible. His brothers are hysterical too. Like,
so
the way they just party during games, I mean, it's so fun. He should never have to quit. He should sue again to get another year.
Just unlimited eligibility. I like
Pavia rule.
He's been grandfathered in to his grandfather years as a quarterback. I'm telling you, like, I've lived here in this town since the mid 90s, and there's never been a player that people enjoy. Just pure entertainment. Now, we're talking about Auburn, Alabama here. So now you've done this to me.
He should have gone to Auburn. I mean,
192 carries though at 5'8". I've stood next to him, and I've stood next to you. You might be taller. No,
I'm 5'7.5".
You might be taller. But 192 carries in the SEC at that size is not sustainable. It's not.
Hey, one more year. Give it all you got.
I'd like to see him play for 12 or 13 more. Okay. So you mentioned Ryan Williams. Can you give us any insight into the kind of person? I mean, this is a young human who has not developed into a fully formed adult male yet. What kind of person is Ryan Williams? Like, what's
outgoing?
Yeah.
He's a very outgoing individual. I love this kid. He is a showman, and the best professional athletes get that element of the job. It's not just performing on the field, okay? It's also personality and color and how you interact with fans. And it's showmanship, and he has that naturally. And so that's who he is. I mean, he's kind of born to do this. He's going to be a great, figure for Alabama in years to come, and he's going to be great for whatever NFL team he's on.
Is he a prototypical outgoing sophomore to be? Is like, I was talking to some folks around the program about Lenore Sellers, and they're just like, no, he's kind of keeps to himself. He's kind of quiet, but he's like super nerdy, has, like a 4+ whatever GPA. And like, that's very different than some other quarterbacks in this league. I'm just curious if there's any insight in like, is he just pretty typical? I mean, he's just, I agree. His on the field play is on a different level, to your point, not just production, but the style and the,
I think everything is calculated with him. He's smart like that. And kids have to be these days, because you can, there's a potential to make so much money is there. So he's crafted himself, to be his own person. And I credit him with that. He started his own podcast, and that takes a lot of, I don't know if courage is the right word, but it certainly.
Well, you have to be. You open yourself up for a lot of mistakes that are unnecessary, but if it's who you are and what you want to do, then you're fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, the avenue is there to directly communicate with fans, and he's taking advantage of that. Yeah, he's kind of like the college football athlete of the future, I would say.
Well, it's funny. I cover the Titans here, and Cam Ward is.
You can't be a dummy anymore.
Yeah,
you can't. There's too much money at stake. You got to go in smart.
Cam Ward is remarkably savvy, and I don't know if you ever had a chance to cover him or be around him, but he's here in Nashville now, and like this guy, he gets it on how to communicate, how to sort of like drop little breadcrumbs for the fans. Like he ultra confident, but like very curated, but also very natural and authentic at the same time. Like, it's the savviness on some of these young kids is, and I say kids, I probably shouldn't say that. Young, they're not kids, but they're not adults, right? They're in that phase of life where learning is what you're supposed to do.
Well, they've grown up online.
Exactly.
So it's
exactly.
just part of their part of who they are.
All right, when you look at these two programs, there's been a lot of talk from the basketball coach at Alabama about resources and commitment and how much football takes from that. Auburn, on the other hand, it was interesting. I want to say the collective was like behind Hugh Freeze at his introductory press conference. Like the actual graphics behind him at his introductory press conference was the NIL collective there for Auburn. Where are these two programs broadly, big picture? Where are they relative to each other in terms of resources and commitment and how well the machine is running behind the scenes? And where are they located within the SEC, in your opinion?
I think Alabama really got behind DeBoer in the beginning. I mean, that seems like so long ago now, the way that the evolution of college football is just moving day by day. Greg Byrne, the athletic director, came out and said it like, we need a billionaire. I mean, Auburn has a billionaire. Alabama doesn't have one. So that makes a big difference right now, at least in this gap between we get to the revenue sharing era of college football. There's no one knows. Like, no one can have any idea about how things are going to change over these next couple of years. Like, people can guess, people can look in the crystal ball, but teams are going to have $20.5 million in the SEC. And then after that, it's going to be up to the boosters again to get them over the line. And so, they say that the era of the Wild West might be over. I don't think so. Not in the SEC. No way. It's just going to be the same old, same old. Who can find that edge? Who can find the advantages in this new system? Auburn has proven that they're pretty good at that. So they're not going away.
Are they like Ole Miss? I think is capped out in terms of its resources as well. Now it's been very productive. It's the best era maybe of Ole Miss football in modern, Ole Miss history since integration. Is there another gear? Are they on the same page as the Georgias and the Texases of the world? I mean, Texas they're on a different planet right now in terms of their resources and commitment. If Saban was there, would it be different? If give me the trajectory of where they're going in this department.
Alabama's never going to have problem raising capital. I mean, they have a huge fan base. It's not ladder. It's not up and down. What is this, latitude? It's more longitudinal. It's many people.
This is latitude. Latitude is horizontal.
Wait, are you
longitude.
Sure?
Yeah, because this. You want to know something really stupid? This is what
longitude's this way.
No, this is what sticks with you when you're a kid in school. When you say longitude, your mouth goes up and down, and when you say latitude, your mouth goes horizontally. Trust me on this. I'm telling you. These are the weird things you remember when you're like third grade.
There's plenty of money at Alabama. Is there Texas money? Obviously not. But like I said, man, we still don't know how that's going to affect everything. Yeah. Like, it's still going to come down to recruiting. It's still going to come down to, how much money is this booster willing to spend to get this quarterback in? I don't know. Like, honestly, I have no idea what the future is going to be in college football. Like, it's exciting.
How many SEC teams do not maximize the 20.5 football?
I mean, I would assume that they all would use the cap. Is that not the case?
I would hope. Like, that's when I read the settlement numbers and I look at the structure of it all, I just go, okay, all we've done is move everything up $20 million. Like, everything that's happening right now is just on top of $20 million. It's not going to change anything.
Roster management is going to be a big deal for general managers, athletic directors. It's a new element of college football that's here. Managing the soft cap.
Courtney Morgan that's a good question. Courtney Morgan was one of Kalen DeBoer's first hires. It's going to be $1 million position pretty quickly for everybody in college football, at least at the highest levels. I'm seeing some, like I look at Miami. I don't know how much you follow Miami, but I'm looking at Miami, and I think Mario Cristobal is way more of a general manager than he is a head coach. Do you have any insight into the job that Morgan has done so far? I mean, we've got LSU supposedly professionalizing. Oklahoma's hiring Jim Nagy. Texas has done this as well. Do you have any concept and idea on how to even try to start to evaluate those guys?
Just wins and losses is how it's got to be. He didn't go out and get a better quarterback. I know that.
Well, maybe Ty Simpson is better.
Maybe so. We'll see. If he's not, fire Courtney Morgan. Find someone else.
Wow. It ain't my money. Oh, man. All right. Which team is closer to the playoff in 2025? Gut instinct.
Auburn. Yeah.
Over Alabama.
They got the Iron Bowl is at Auburn. Yeah, they have an experienced quarterback.
Wow. Who beat Alabama already?
I think Hugh Freeze is sandbagging. Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time. All right. Hey, I'm speechless. My wife is shocked by this interview. I don't know what.
You heard it here first. Damn.
Oh, you're such a homer.
I'm not believing anything Hugh Freeze is selling right now.
All right. Well, that's a good thing for everybody on the plains, I suppose. So. Oh my God. All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and promote everything that you're working on? You got the book. We Want Bama. Go buy that. Everybody go support Goodman here. AL.com. What else you got going on? Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, just AL.com, man. It's where my column is most days. I got the newsletter. You can subscribe to that if you want. It's fun.
Skeeting up a storm on
I'll
Blue
be
Ski.
around.
You over on Blue Ski hanging out? Skies are clear, man.
I don't know what any of that means.
Blue Sky. Follow him on Blue Sky.
Oh, man, my social media presence is just, I don't give a shit anymore. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like nonsense. Have you been on Twitter lately?
I popped back in for a day last week for no reason
It's a
at all.
hellhole. I was trying to find something out yesterday, and I was like, and I got on. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of a bummer, man. Like, one of the coolest things about college football was you could have like 30 different fan bases from all over the country watching a game that had nothing to do with their fandom. Like, you literally could be having a conversation with like Alabama fan, Texas fan, Oregon fan, Washington fan, Miami fan about like a MAC game on a Tuesday. And you would all be talking about Akron's quarterback. And that was fun. That was fun to do. And it doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, those glory days. They're gone.
My middle-agedness is showing. All right. Make sure you go check out the newsletter. Check out AL.com. Go buy the book as well. And I guess you could follow him on the socials. But, we'll see what happens. Are you going to Atlanta, my guy?
Oh, yeah. I'll be there.
First time I won't be there. Not that anybody cares. The first time I won't be there until since like Tebow was playing. So,
oh wow.
Hey, wife's got a birthday. Kids got to have a summer vacation, and she's got a big one coming up this summer. So I got to take her out. Got to take her
Good, man. Congrats.
Got to take her to the. How about this?
Way more important.
The second oldest river in the world is where we're going to. You're one of the few guests that might appreciate that comment. So,
did you say the second what?
Oldest river in the world is just up the road from Nashville. It's in West Virginia.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. As a river columnist that you are, senior river columnist for AL.com. It's called the New River Gorge. It's the newest national park in America, and it's like 5 hours away from Nashville, and it's got all kinds of really cool shit to go do. You can take the kids whitewater rafting, mountain climbing, biking, ropes courses, all kinds of cool shit. So, but it's the second oldest river in the world. Who knew?
I'm gonna go there now.
It's gorgeous, dude. I'll send you some photos.
Yeah, man.
It's really cool. I'm excited about it. So, but again, would I rather be doing that, or would I rather be talking to an offensive lineman from Vanderbilt in a ballroom in Atlanta? Obviously, the ballroom. All right, my guy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us some time. We do appreciate it. ML Rose, everybody. 6 great locations all across the mid-state area. Craft beer and burgers, the best craft beer in the city. All a reflection of the local community. All the local breweries are there. They do a great job catering to the neighborhood that you're in, and great. As my wife says, the best ranch dipping sauce in the city. So it's an important asset that ML Rose has. So make sure you check out their ranch dip. For Joe, I'm Braden. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man.